Welcome to episode 77 of the Spivey Special Podcast. You bumped the mic right away. That's
I'm clapping.
move.
Yeah,
Pro move.
There's a lot of springs on this microphone. It's got some nice twang to it.
Yeah, you like that.
I do.
So that is our guest. We have Tom Meeker with us. Second time on the show. It's been a while.
Woo!
Two-time
Guest. Let's go. I'm back.
One away from three, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that.
We'll make it a trilogy one day. Yeah.
Zach just coming in hot with the math takes tonight. I love it.
I'm very good at math. I'm really good at 1 + 1 is 2 because that's how many wins the Dodgers have in the Cup Series. Is that right?
Oh, you're looking at the season series where it's 4-2 Cubs and they can't lose the season series. I love that.
This guy said he did no prep. It seems like he did a little bit of prep.
Yeah, he's a faker.
I don't need to do. I've been sending out memes for weeks.
All right. Well, we got Tom. He is back with his podcast, the A Gap Podcast.
Come and listen to it. The A Gap Podcast. We stream live on YouTube and Twitch. We're on all your favorite socials, Twitter, Instagram, not TikTok. You guys got us beat there. Sort of.
Do we though?
Do we though? Do you?
Yeah, we've been kicking it back off. We've done 4 episodes in the last month. We stream and we have live reaction. You guys can join in and
I have comment. And I will.
Yeah, Zach has been a very lively part of our podcast on a weekly basis. We appreciate that. So come check us out. I'm excited to be here back on the Spivey Special, doing my favorite thing, which is.
Will you tell us what the A Gap Podcast is about? Because it isn't very self-explanatory.
Oh, it's definitely not. So the A Gap, we kind of were thinking about a sports, like some sort of reference to that. And then, of course, the A Gap in football, but also we're a bunch of A-holes. So, that kind of fits the bill.
I was thinking butt crack. So,
you were right in the right spot there.
Okay.
Absolutely. So, and maybe you guys can help us figure out, we're trying to decide what our, growing fan base will be called, either the A-holes or the Gappers.
You can just call him Zach.
He's definitely, we got viewer retention with you. So I appreciate that.
Hey, that's it. Already you have a huge fan base, emphasis on huge. So I think you're already headed in the right direction.
I'm like 2.4 fans. So
your surface area, we're doing great.
Before we get too deep into what your podcast is actually about, I just want to let you know that you've been calling Zach for 10 years. And I just want to let you know, we jumped on the scales and you're a little bit, heavier than Zach. And that makes me really happy.
Part of the reason that I'm hooked on the pod is that we were talking about Tom's weight loss journey and he shared what the number was, and it's bigger than my current number. And it made me feel really good about myself.
I did not know your number until this moment right now. And it makes me feel worse about my weight loss journey, if that helps at all.
I did feed you a beer too while you were here.
You did. It's so good. No, I was going like about 2 weeks with no beer, but that fell off already too.
I just want to let you guys know you both make me feel really good about my numbers. So I really appreciate you coming on, Tom.
Well, if in the spirit of full disclosure, what is the number if we're all going to share?
Well, we haven't shared yours on pod yet, but
my last 227 was my last one.
I'm at 224.
I'm
not happy with that.
I'm at 186. But to be fair, my highest
tiny pants out of here, dude.
Yeah, I know that part. No weight. It's like minus. But my heaviest ever is 209. So 186. I'm very happy with. That was.
Yeah, but you're like
5'3",
5'3", so I don't know, what does that even out to?
You're like an
pound
inch
for pound
taller than me, and that's when you're laying down. If you're counting your rack, that's the only time you're taller than me.
Stretching it out, maybe it gets there. But yeah, it's all, I guess the point though is it's all about our own journey, right? We all get there different ways. I gave up ice cream sandwiches and beer for about 2 weeks, and
that's pretty good.
It's pretty good. So
everyone's just got to find something that works for them.
Exactly. We're all working on ourselves.
I drink beer and eat ice cream sandwiches. So
yeah, and you're in
you just got a job where you walk 9 miles a day. So
well, not this past week, it's 10 miles a day. Stupid Prime Week, you idiots.
Prime Week.
Might be the worst invention ever because everyone's trying to match it with their sales. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's gross. We're aware of that as well. I bet.
Fun time. I saw this gentleman You probably don't know him because I didn't get his name or really have a good description what he looks at. But
That's a
he's
good
at this
start to your story.
he was a home install guy, and he's talking like he's all tough. I was gonna say that I knew you, but I didn't want him to get facial diabetes from just hearing your name.
I want more in-depth facial diabetes, so maybe this is not the right podcast for that.
So this guy was telling me that he does like home installs that look like, but he says on Saturdays he doesn't book. I was eavesdropping, obviously, while I was eating my chocolate chip cookie. That he doesn't book himself anything past 12 p.m. I didn't know. Is that a thing that you guys could all do?
No, that's not a thing that you can do.
Maybe he was just lying.
What's his name? What's he look like?
Yeah, I don't. It was like a nerd bucket. I couldn't. I mean, everyone that you hang out with, so it's hard to tell.
Sorry, we'll bleep the name. Feel free if you want to give us all their information.
Honestly, I didn't get his name. I should have read it on this
names or faces or numbers or reading or anything.
Stories, like yeah. But there was a guy there. Him and her got it on. Woo-wee.
He's good at gossip. It seems like.
All right. Well, Ian.
Just curious. Sidebar.
Our whole podcast should just be called Sidebar.
That's not bad.
All right. In honor of Tom of the A Gap podcast, which we found out is about sports, we are going to do an all sports jog episode today.
Sports.
Buckle in. If you're here for anything else, you've already listened for a minute. We got credit. You can leave now. It's fine.
That's a listen.
That's a listen.
Cha-ching.
Gotcha. All right, we're going to start off with the NBA. We started the pod a little bit later than we normally do, so we can watch the end of the Suns-Clippers game.
Game 4.
Let's start off with that. Troy, did you watch the game? How did the Clippers only score 80 points in a basketball game?
My question, I was watching it, I was at a party. It was on mute, typical party, it's in the background. How bad, since Chris Paul's come back from his little, hiatus for those 2 games, how bad has he been?
I think the Suns are worse with him on the floor, but I think it's like one of those, maybe it's got to be the COVID thing though. Like everyone that's come back from COVID,
he didn't even take like a month have COVID though. He was just a close contact.
He did,
in theory.
One guy tested positive for the week that he was out for.
Oh, they just know that one person tested positive. We don't know which player it was.
They don't list the name on the report. They said one guy, and then like a whole bunch of NBA players tweeted, "You mean Chris Paul?" So I'm pretty sure it was Chris Paul was the one that had COVID.
I mean, how many years has he been in the league? He's probably had COVID during the playoffs that many years. The guy's never healthy in the playoffs.
He had original COVID, is what you're saying.
He said COVID of the knee, before it was cool. COVID of the elbow.
He's got the OGC. He's the OGC. But I mean, I think it was 6 for 22 from the field tonight. I believe I saw. He did hit a lot of free throws late, and I think he's a leader on the field. But this was a must-win for the Clippers, I think. I don't think they go to Phoenix and win Game 5
unless
without
Kawhi comes back and he has like a new knee, like a robot knee, then they're in trouble.
I wouldn't be shocked. Well, so I guess I'll throw this to you too about Kawhi coming back. He, in Game 3, was in the box. He wasn't even on the sideline. Everyone was wondering why. Why wasn't he with his team in Game 3? Did he? Because he sat up in the box with his family instead of on the court.
Wasn't he there tonight too?
I didn't see tonight. I don't think he was on the sideline.
I believe he was up in the box because I think the announcer's like, "Oh my gosh, look at Kawhi's reaction." He was just sitting there like without any reaction because that's
the most reaction he gives though. I think is just eyebrows up. That's pretty much it.
He was standing. I think he just likes to sit with his kids.
Yeah, I think he's a family guy.
I think that's what it is.
Or they're hiding his new bionic leg.
Ooh.
And they're working on the finishing touches to make sure it looks real.
They don't want to show him with his crutches so they can just assume that he's coming back when he really.
It's basically like
they already amputated his leg and
it's already gone.
I read a report in the hockey. One of the guys was like playing like a broken ankle or a broken leg or something. They always tell you once the series ends, when they lose, oh yeah, this guy's got a broken leg. You're like, oh, what?
Pretty like sure in the NFL. Like, yeah, that offensive lineman, he was playing with one arm for the last 6 weeks of the season. They kept it on ice though, so he was fine.
I just imagine the hockey player with one broken ankle. His like whole other foot is going sideways the whole time. Maybe he's going in circles. The blade
of his skates not even touching the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Just sliding along. But hockey players are tough. They could do it.
He just had a mop handle down there. He's fine.
Just a stump of a leg.
Yeah.
I could see it. Hockey
Very
guys, tough
interesting
guys.
end to the game today. I'm not a big fan of the free throw game at the end or the challenges or the fact that it took like 30 minutes to play the last minute and a half of the game. But I did love watching Boogie somehow in this game for offensive rebounding, flopping to draw the foul, making the first free throw, and then like not knowing what the rule is for missing the second one and like throwing it off the top of the backboard.
For all the listeners at home, what did he do wrong?
Well, you have to hit the rim so that your team can get a rebound, and he missed it by about 3 feet.
It looks
Be
like
honest
he
though,
wasn't going.
did he
for
miss
it.
on? Was he missing on purpose, or was that just a shot? That's
I
the one
think his
thing we
foot-
also.
That's a great question,
He was
actually.
like halfway to the rim when he shot it anyway. Like it would have been a lane violation if it hadn't have missed the rim by 3 feet.
He was going
Did-
for it. Was going straight above the rim, and so maybe he just overshot it a little bit. Maybe he had the exact right plan and he just blew it, which is
Maybe he's
also very
watching a
Boogie
lot of-
But
Cousins
he was
thing
like
to do.
super into getting the rebound. Like
He
was
did jump at it.
surprised. What do you mean?
It's like
Does that surprise
Boogie
anybody
Cousins.
watching it though that he doesn't know the rules?
I just
Oh.
love that
no,
it happens on national TV, and then other people other than Kings fans get to realize that he has no idea what's going on, and he has the basketball IQ of a foot, a 7 foot
since,
foot.
Since we're talking
He
about
can score 30
basketball,
points if he wanted to.
are we just all three? Are we just going to agree that the Suns are going to move on? Most likely, unless an injury, they're probably going to win the NBA Finals.
I would agree. I'm
Unless
part of the Suns
2014
Kings
Kawhi
organization.
comes back
so
from like a time machine, then I think the
I'm going to
the
be
Suns are
rooting
gonna
for
win.
it. I'm definitely going to be rooting for the Clippers in every other game because I love game sevens. They're like crack. Please just inject it into my veins. But
I've liked him this whole series. I think the ball moves better without Kawhi. I think they're all having more fun. The bench guys have been doing.
Well,
Luke
you, I mean,
Kennard
you saw-
actually gets in the game.
You saw it in Game 7 of the last series. I mean, look at those other guys stepping up. I mean, I don't know how the Defensive Player of the Year lets Terrence Mann score 39, but let's not get into that.
Well, the series
We can
before
talk about that,
Kawhi is
actually. That was a
just
good
like
series.
Kawhi is just ISOing the whole game, and they're just standing around. It can't be any fun,
No.
and you get blamed when you lose.
Maybe there's more confidence though by the Clippers after playing
And
so many
Kawhi
good
can't be
games
fun to
without him.
play with. He just looks like he's judging you with his eyes the whole time.
Stoic is
think-
the word, Zach. He's stoic.
I
I got double
definitely think,
teamed, so I'm gonna pass it to you, but you better give it right back.
I definitely think Paul George is better without Kawhi. He just
Yes.
seems more confident. He thinks he is the top dog.
Well, they're playing the
just
same
been-
position. They're
Yeah.
doing the same
He's-
thing. It's redundant, and they don't have a point guard that can
When's
get
the,
it to them.
and the last time Paul George was like the actual number one option, he was like a pacer, I think, right? And he was awesome when he was a pacer.
He was an MVP candidate on Thunder.
But didn't he have Russell?
Yeah, but it was Paul George was the
That's
reason that team was
true.
good.
That's probably
That particular year.
Russell
Yeah.
Westbrook
Yeah.
likes to take a lot of credit. That's all I'm saying.
That
not
guy's
the
a
guy.
stat stuffer. That guy. He throws it off the backboard on free throws just to get his triple doubles.
Yes.
Just get that last rebound. Trying to break
right,
records
let's-
over here.
Let's jump to the East real quick. With that first 2 games, I couldn't be more confused at anything that's ever happened. Who do you think's coming out of the East?
Go for it.
I have no idea. Going in, I was like, the Bucks are 8-point favorites. That sounds right. The Hawks win game 1, and I'm like, all right, well, maybe the Hawks are just better. They're more balanced. They have all this stuff, and then they lose by 40 in game 2, and I was just like, I don't know. I don't know
love
anymore.
Giannis. Giannis is what I want to be the next like face of the NBA, winning championships. He's the guy. I just love Giannis. So I'm always going to root for the Bucks because I think he's a good dude. Came from like poverty. He was the skinniest kid in the world, and he literally earned every single thing he had. So I'm always going to root for Giannis. Who's going to win though? I think it's kind of up to Trae and the rest of the team around it. Bogdanovich is down to one leg or not even playing at all, so that's going to hurt the Hawks a lot. But I'm going to go with Bucks.
I think it comes down to Chris Middleton. If Chris Middleton can just be average,
Anything. Yeah.
then they
He was
win
trash in
every
the
game
last
by a
series.
lot. He just was atrocious in game
Pretty bad.
1, and they still barely lost.
I think he has superstar potential, but it's not like consistently logged in, obviously. And you guys, I think last time I was on this podcast, I told you I'm good friends with Chris Middleton. Didn't I tell you that story?
How did that happen?
So I was
listening.
I think you guys were here.
We were talking about Star Wars last time you were here.
It was right after it happened. I was in Sacramento, and we were going in the hotel where all the opposing teams play. Exactly. So me and Chris Middleton are tight. I locked eyes with him in a hotel and in the hotel elevator, and he was getting a mini pizza from the gift shop. And we really had a strong connection. And, since then we've been fast friends.
Is that what he called you? He called you his mini pizza in the gift shop.
It's a cute little nickname. I didn't need to out it on the podcast, so that's fine. Yeah.
But I mean, we just told you
he's my big pizza. I'm the little pizza.
I don't think you're a mini pizza, but anyway. All
right, maybe like a medium. He's the large one though. He's the large.
Let's have a quick little Giannis discussion. Do we like the way Giannis plays basketball? Is it fun to watch? I feel like watching him is like watching young LeBron before he developed a jumper.
Thinking that.
Where it was really exciting and he was dunking on people and he's really athletic. And then I kind of got bored of it real quick.
It's energy basketball.
If he gets the ego, then I'm gonna be out on it. I'm in on it right now.
Because he's
just like young LeBron. I was in on young LeBron.
Look how
until I found out he had the chosen one tattoo when he was in high school. And I was like, okay, we're done.
He just doesn't fit in this NBA. It's kind of similar, as we'll talk a little bit later, about baseball. It's just a different game than what we grew up watching, that's for sure. I mean, it's much less of a team game. It's a lot more ISO. Ball movement is just, I mean, when teams that do move the ball, they usually do well, but it just doesn't happen as much in the NBA anymore.
I think
you gotta hit threes.
Yeah, well, Giannis, he tries really hard.
Yeah,
to hit those threes.
It's
everyone in Milwaukee is yelling at him not to.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it.
Yeah.
I think it was when he in the All-Star game. If you remember, he one of his first possessions in the All-Star game, he hit a three, and I think since then it's all been downhill. He's been trying to get that shot going forever. I think he can develop more as a player and be more than just what he is currently. He's obviously great at defense, but maybe still doesn't have that next level, one of the best defensive players. He obviously doesn't even play center, and so it's a little bit more difficult on how his defense shows up. But I think his game can evolve into a more modern NBA, maybe with more passing, like I said, more defense. I think Giannis can improve and be a little bit different than just this standard young LeBron energy to the rim guy. I think so. I think he also has the desire to improve and change and be more than what he is right now. And if he goes and wins a championship right now, I think we'll start to see a little bit different level of him. So he'll kind of think differently of himself.
Everything I heard over the offseason, he just put everything into shooting and developing new skills. And that's exactly what he needs to do
for the next step.
His first MVP season was crazy. And then he one-upped everything that he did stat-wise. And then he almost did it again this year.
Yeah, he's totally underrated.
Fatigue, so he didn't even get to be in the running.
But do you think late in the game that guy could take over a game? Is he ever going to be the reason that you win a championship, or is he just going to be a part of why you win a championship?
I mean, he obviously, if we're going to talk for a second about the Nets-Bucks series, I don't think Giannis was the deciding factor. I think about a half inch off Kevin Durant's shoe was the deciding factor, just a little bit. That was the big deciding factor. Too big a feet.
He wears shoes that are one size too big on purpose. If he was wearing the normal size shoes, they would have won.
That was his mistake. And now,
or he would have tripped over his own feet because he doesn't know how to run in those shoes. So,
or they would have guarded him different because they knew that.
Yeah, they put a lot of effort
always guard normal size KD.
I always check his tags before the game just to make sure.
Me too.
And I adjust my defense.
Are those 16 and a halves or 17 and a halves?
If you've seen his feet, they're like 29s and a half. He looks like he has duck feet. He looks like he has flippers.
I like the refs having the Foot Locker foot measure thing though on the sideline just to check to make sure it's all regulation, I like that idea. No, I don't know if Giannis can do that. He obviously played incredible in the 2 games we've seen so far and even against the Nets, but you're right. Good question. Is he going to be the one that takes the shot at the end of the game? It seems like he was trying his ass off to be that guy though in this last series.
He's got Shaquille O'Neal vibes to me, where he's like the super dominant guy, but he needs the other guy.
He needs
to make the shot.
Shaq
because he can't shoot
Wade,
free throws.
Shaq needed Kobe. Shaq needed Penny Hardaway.
Shaq needed. Anderson. Didn't he win a championship with LeBron too?
No, he lost.
The Heat.
LeBron couldn't win with Shaq.
That's good karma for everybody.
Trash.
Trash.
Yeah, is this an anti-LeBron podcast, I assume?
Yes.
Good.
Do you
good.
think
Me
that
too. I called him a
was
bitch
Shaq
on the
in-
first podcast that I did this year.
Do you think was Shaq in the league when Michael Jordan was on the Wizards?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think if Shaq was on that Wizards team, they would have won
Yes.
championship?
Yeah, that would have been like 1998. That's like pre-prime Shaq still.
Yeah.
Dude, the good old days of Shaq. I guess he had lots of great days.
Shaq played against him he played against prime Jordan. He started in 92.
So you didn't answer my question. Are they winning the championship if Shaq's on the Wizards?
He actually knocked Michael Jordan out of the playoffs one year.
I don't know what you're talking about. That
Early.
never happened. MJ always won everything. I'm young enough to just say that that's
The
always how it
second
was.
gap
Yeah.
year where he came back in the middle of the season. For the record, Shaq and
I watched the
Horace
documentary
Grant
and I
knocked him
don't
out.
think about MJ losing anything. I just think about sick cuts of him doing dunks and stuff.
Yeah, just championship every year.
Exactly.
63-point game and then 6 championships. And that's all that happened.
Yep, that was it.
Dunk contest.
Greatest player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Works for me.
All right, can we talk about Trae Young real quick?
I can't stand Trae Young. He lost me. I think it was about, can't remember how many years ago. I was in Reno for March Madness.
boy.
His Oklahoma team was the first game of the day. It was a Thursday. They were playing some scrub team, and the bet of the week was the under in that game, because anytime you bet a morning game in March Madness, it always goes under. It was way under. They go to overtime. I think they went to double overtime, and the over hit by 2. And I hate Trae Young more than anything. It's his fault.
Why would
Just
you
so
bet the
know.
under? You always bet the over. I'd
That's
never
why
even
I've
heard of you betting the under.
That's why I've never bet it again, because it's Trae Young. That guy, the guy's never played defense in his life, and apparently, don't get me. I hate Trae Young. Trae Young's similar to me to Bagley, but better. They could fill it up, but neither of them played defense.
Trae Young
Remember that
is
playoff game where
similar to
Bagley
Bagley.
scored 45
I
with like 16 assists?
think I blacked out. When did that happen?
Oh, wait, no, it hasn't happened yet.
Oh yeah, it'll probably never happen. I think. Yeah.
Different position.
I'm all in on Trae Young. I was super out on him. I thought he was good stats, bad team guy. They put some people around him. He's got these crazy Reggie Miller vibes where he's just like,
Super
he's
facilitator.
taunting the fans. He likes playing on the road more than he likes playing at home, and I'm in on it.
He's a
Did you
villain.
see his-
Shimming
Does he
before
want to
he
be a
shoots the
villain?
3. He's shushing the
Did you-
fans.
Did
He's
we
starting
see his
fights with Knick
stats?
fans. I love all of it.
Did we see his stats in Game 7 though against the Sixers?
Did they
He
win that
was
game?
atrocious. He
5
hit one
for
late.
23 or
Did he
something
play
like
good
that.
down the stretch though?
No, he was very poor. I mean, Sixers blew that series. Can we just admit that?
We're gonna get to Ben Simmons during the Kings segment,
Yes.
and that's a leading up to that one.
Simmons. All right, sorry, I can't stand that guy either. He's worst
We'll
ever
save
free
it. We'll
throws.
save it.
We don't do that on the
Future
show.
Sacramento champion. Ben
All right. Do we
Simmons.
have any other playoff series matchups that we want to talk about? Shockers.
I think someone on our pod said Suns in 6 in the finals. I can't remember who that was.
I don't know. Someone on our
That's-
pod said
that's-
that the Bucks were going to win in 6 in the final. So
It's gonna
Could
be
be
interesting. Who
anyone.
did you have them against though?
the Blazers, that did not go well. That did
Yeah,
not
I
age well.
think-
You guys
I
had Bucks
had-
and Suns though as your finals teams.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
I had Suns versus Nets. He had Bucks versus Blazers.
I had Clippers Nets as my finals matchup, and Nets.
I was
winning.
going back and forth between the Blazers and the Nuggets as my Western Conference team.
Blazers.
I don't know. I was just looking at it. I was like, I don't know any of these teams are.
It's Dame time, baby.
I was just looking at the team. None of them are jumping out at me.
No.
Yeah, that could have been better. Hey, you got some of them though, a little bit.
Yeah.
Better
I'll
than
take
my
my-
Nets pick.
I'll take them. Your Nets pick.
But-
So it was like shenanigans too. After you told them no one could pick the Nets, and then you picked the Nets last.
That was quite a move. I didn't want to leave it out, but
Bold
yeah, I know
strategy,
that was some shenanigans for sure. No one can pick the Nets, but I'm taking the Nets. Yeah, that was my
If
move.
the
My
Nets
bad.
stay healthy, is it even close though?
No, I don't think they lose a
No.
game.
all season. If they all three played all
They're like
season and
the
playoffs.
they're like the 0-1 Lakers. They just run right through this whole thing.
Oh, are they going to run it back while we're on the subject? Are the Nets going to just run it back?
They're
Same team.
absolutely going to. I don't know if they get Blake Griffin, and I don't know if they get a
Blake
couple of these
Griffin's
guys, but They'll just get another Blake Griffin. They'll just get Kevin Love or someone else on a
Someone
buyout
else
next year.
that is sandbagging their way through their piss poor team, and then they
Didn't
get
they
bought out.
get? Didn't
Can
they
the
get
Kings
Aldridge?
get Blake Griffin?
They did get Aldridge, and then
And then he
Aldridge found
retired.
out that he was going to die if he played another minute of
Yeah, they gave him
NBA
his physical,
basketball.
and they're like, "Yeah, your heart's gonna stop. You can't play basketball anymore." And he's like, "Oh, okay, thanks.
Well, been a career.
Been a good run. I should have been nicer to Dame."
Exactly.
Clearly
Stuck
was
around.
All that stress between that relationship. Do you think if Harden hit 1-3 in that game 7 that they'd be anywhere?
Well, if you look at the points, yeah, in theory, if you just do it from that perspective, 3 more points would have gone a long way.
Maybe if
It was
he didn't get
so
fat while he was on
bad.
Houston, he wouldn't have pulled his hamstring.
It's funny. I saw this meme. It says this is what the Nets look like if they were all fat and had a fat picture of everyone and then just a normal picture of Harden. It was so good. Made me laugh.
I feel like he deserves all that criticism. He was like, if there's an NBA villain, it's Harden this last season. Just like
He had
screwing over
me
his
going
team.
there for the middle of the season. I was like, "Oh, I like this Harden. He's passing. He's having fun. He got in
looked
shape
great.
real quick." And then that playoff series where he's just like bouncing into guys on purpose and flopping and falling down, and Giannis is
doing
just
the
like watching him
classic
fall
Harden
down,
stuff.
and he's just
Yeah.
kind of shaking his head at him.
That's going to
Did you guys
change.
Do you guys? Yeah, I was just gonna say. Did you guys
good
see
call.
that report?
Good segue. Mhm.
Then the NBA now is if you fall into it or like anywhere you draw the contact, it's now going to be an offensive foul. So like if you I think if you pump fake and then you jump into the guy, it's now going to be an offensive foul instead of.
So does Chris Paul have to
defensive
retire
foul.
now, or how does this work?
Well, I was
Harden
gonna
does.
say, Harden does. My thing is, when you're at a pool with your friends, it's summer day, and you do a jackknife, where you go like this and you kick your feet out. That's what Harden has made a career out of, is just doing a jackknife every time he shoots a 3 and just kicks his feet out into the person in front of him. And I'm really excited for him to get held accountable because it's such garbage. Such garbage.
Flagrant fouls.
Yeah, dude. He kicked me. He kicked me.
Well, it's gonna be bad for Fox too, because Fox does that on every drive. He just runs at people.
Fox was adapting this last year. That was him going to the
Fox
next level.
got to the line because he was doing exactly what all the other good guys do. You have to adapt to the rules. And I think Fox is good enough to not do that anymore.
If it's not going to get him points, he'll do
just
something
get
else.
to the rack every time.
Yeah,
he was
just bouncing into him just to get maybe a 3-point play.
He'll also get fouled a ton too. He's still going to get actually fouled. He's not nowhere near as bad with the shooting fouls.
Well, you have to foul him because he's by you before you can even.
Yeah,
blow.
Harden's not going to blow by anybody. Everyone's going to be like, "Oh, I'm just standing in front of you."
Harden's definitely not blown by any burger joints this offseason.
Or strip clubs.
There we go.
There must be good strip clubs in New Jersey or Brooklyn, or wherever they're playing.
Great ribs.
What are the Nets?
Brooklyn. There's plenty, I would assume. He's got all of New York City.
Brooklyn's he probably owns one.
I like that Nets Bucks series. I want to keep watching that.
Yeah.
Can we run that back?
Just watch it again. It was
we went to Wild Wings for Game 7. It was popping. That was the first time I've been out and been able to watch sports at a bar type area in a while. And it was popping. People are yelling at the screen. Sure, it was me and other people I was with, but still, it was pretty wild.
Exciting. Dude, I went to a Kings game. I actually went to one of the last games they played.
Oh, nice.
Against the Oklahoma City Thunder. And we were right next to the bench. They won, hopefully, because Oklahoma City's trying to lose.
That's what we should have been trying to do.
It was really fun, but I'll save that for more Kings talk, and unless we're ready to segue there.
Let's just jump into the Kings before we go to other sports.
I just want to talk about my favorite tweet of the entire playoffs. Somebody tweeted that I wish someone would tell these Brooklyn Nets fans that Brook Lopez is their all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, they're rooting against him like he's ever even been on the team. Well, when you're a fan of a team and you've only been a fan for about 6 months, you don't really know any history of the team. So I would honestly say kind of like the Clippers fans right now. Am I wrong on that? Doesn't it feel like the Clippers all of a sudden have a ton of fans?
I feel like they don't even have fans.
I like
those are all Laker fans. They just tear off their Laker jersey and they're Clipper fans.
All right, I guess.
Personally, I like to call them 2010 Giants fans.
Oh, the original bandwagoners?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, come on. All right.
What is this? What is this sport?
Tyler Goldenkoff.
Baseball.
All right. You're right. In 2010, when we won the first World Series, I was walking around the stadium asking, do you know who JT Snow is? Do you know who Rich Aureli is? That was the question. People said no. Yeah.
They still don't.
They still don't. That's true. I'm like, Barry Bonds, greatest player of all time. They're like, yeah, that guy, the steroids guy. Yeah, what did he do?
Yeah, the steroids guy.
We're not going to get into bandwagon fans because the Cubs, Dodgers, and Giants have some of the best bandwagon fans in the business.
Oh,
I think.
without
the
a doubt.
Dodgers
Without a
bandwagon
doubt.
fans are so good right now. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, they're hot with their asterisk World Series.
All right, before we get to
It's hard.
basketball, or before we get to baseball, let's get to Kings.
Let's get to Kings.
Focus on Tom's Mickey Mouse King shirt.
Oh
Where
yeah,
did
you
even
like
get
this? You like this? My roommate got it for me. I think he got it at like a Kohl's.
That's so good.
When did
It's
you
so
move in
good,
with
though.
Vito?
Is that his thing? Is this totally his style?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he
Don't
would
tell him
like
that
cover up
exists.
the Kings.
And just have the Mickey thing going.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. He just like came home one day and just handed it to me. So I don't really know exactly where he got it, but it is perfect. It's a perfect shirt. That was good to show
You can
off.
lay
him.
it out and have a picnic on it too. That's nice.
227 and working on it. Okay.
All my jokes are coming towards you this episode now that I
Well,
found
now
out.
he's
Great.
lighter than me.
Let's
He
get
literally
Vance
weighs
and
less
Tom
than
on
me.
every week. This is great.
Jesus Christ. All right. I
Don't
guess I'm
blame
going to get the
him.
rowing machine finally going. Now this is the motivation I needed. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
we
do the
have-
weights
We've
anymore.
got the Norditrack bike just so that I could keep eating
Oh, where's the Nortrack bike?
in that bedroom.
Oh,
It's pretty
how
awesome.
He's not
dusty is it?
allowed in there.
He's not allowed.
Heather writes it.
I've done 50 rides now.
Whoa. All right. I'll get the rowing machine together. I'll live stream.
But
me
I've been
sweating,
eating worse. So it's kind of
counteracting it.
Yeah.
So I thought the whole weightlifting thing would somehow help, but I realized that I'm not losing any weight doing one set of curls every night. I probably am not doing a lot with
I'm
one
getting
set.
pretty
of curls.
strong. I should probably get a triple cheeseburger today.
Whoa.
That's
You've
my,
earned it.
those are the vibes. Yeah.
You've earned it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
He's just taking smaller bites so you can get the reps going. That's a heavy cheeseburger.
We keep the jaw
Why is-
muscles, you know.
Why is he
flexible.
eating like a squirrel? Oh, he's just working out. Don't mind him.
Zach's just doing a lot of like, you know, mouth movements before each meal. It's like, let's say he's stretching. Just let him stretch, okay? He's doing his thing. He's got to work it out a little bit, you know, doesn't want to pull anything.
Smart.
All right, let's talk Kings. Best night of the year for the Kings fans, NBA draft lottery. And it went just how we thought it was going to.
Was that our worst possible spot we could have got?
No, that's exactly where we're supposed to go.
Yep.
Nothing
Nine.
Could have been
changed.
worse. It could have
Could
been
have been
worse.
12.
Yeah.
So I guess that's a win for us.
Also could have been 1.
Yeah.
2%, but yeah,
Never.
possible.
Never.
Never do we get that.
No one's-
4.6%, I think.
Oh, remember that one time we got the number 2 overall pick though?
It
That
worked
was
out well.
nice.
Worked out well.
That's been a bag
Just
of
as
fun.
good as Trae Young.
Just as good as Drake. I can't hear you say those words. I'm too
We don't
hard as
like
Kings
Luca's
fan.
dad, so we don't need him.
Luca's
No.
mom though. For it.
Brown.
No, she
All right,
raised a really good
do
son.
we think the
that's all.
Kings are going to actually
Nice of
draft
you to
it?
say.
Do we think the Kings are going to draft at 9? Or are they going to get rid of this pick?
By pick,
I
do you mean
want-
Bagley and Barnes?
Because I
not
think they
re-signing?
should just start trading them all. Just go full on Seattle Seahawks and just trade every first round pick that you get, and just
Why
get
not?
somebody that you know is good or can contribute.
As long as it's not for
Since-
another backup center, and Vladdy's not controlling the team, so I'm a little less concerned with that. But God, if they trade for another average players, if they trade, I don't know, the pick for Rudy Gay again or something, I don't know. That's what I'm trained and conditioned to do as a Kings fan, is expect some terrible trade. But I want them to make a big splash.
I think the new regime's done a really good job, though. I thought Halliburton was a great pick. They made a lot of
Great pick.
moves towards the deadline that
They
they
got
picked
rid of
up
Kojo.
players.
That's all I cared about.
Yep. Terrence Davis has been awesome, and that was basically a free player for him. I think he
Yeah,
has
they
a real
picked up a
chance
lot
being
of
player.
guys who can play minutes in the NBA and give you positive minutes and just are helpful off the bench. Good energy guys. I think that's what you need in the NBA when you're not like the best team ever. At least give effort every night. People are
It's
going to show
our-
up to watch that team play.
Confidence level of how this offseason is going to go. Are we feeling very confident? Not very confident? Where are we at with that? If I was on a 1 through 10, how confident do you think that Monty McNair is actually going to pull off something that will, at the beginning of the year, be like, thank God we made these changes. The team looks so much better.
I don't know. I think we're all hoping for this blockbuster trade, but it's not going to happen.
You think it's never going to happen?
It's never going to happen. We're not going to get anybody. We're not getting any big names.
If you want, I can make my case for and against the Ben Simmons thing.
We'll get to Ben Simmons here in a second.
All right.
What move before Ben Simmons would you guys make to improve the team? What player on the Kings roster of last year do you not want to see back on the
Buddy
roster?
Hield has to be gone.
Yep, absolutely.
I
His
think
contract,
him and
yeah.
Barnes.
I like Barnes too, but a lot of the
Barnes is the only guy that we can trade that has value that we'd be willing to trade. So he has to be involved in something. He makes a good amount of
Buddy
money.
still has value though. The 3-point shooting, you talk about like the Sixers and all these teams are like, we just need shooting. We just need shooting. We just need shooting. So we have somebody that has a better 3-point percentage and more 3-pointers than a ton of other teams or players have. That has value.
We're running out of team GMs that don't watch basketball that will fall for the Buddy Hield thing.
Okay.
They're going to be like,
because Buddy Hield
look at
bounces the ball off his foot a couple
Buddy Hield
times.
shoots 40% from 3. We should get him. Let's watch some tape. Oh, yeah. We don't want Buddy Hield.
Oh, let's look at Buddy in the fourth quarter. What does that look like?
Yeah, I've been
He's
hearing
over on the
people
bench.
He's over on the bench.
Yeah, I've
or
been hearing
airball
people
it.
on TikTok like, or on Twitter. I don't.
TikTok guy over here.
I'm all over that too. They're like, yeah, I think Buddy Hield can be our closer. And I was like, man, I jump in all the time. I was like, you've never watched a Kings game, have you?
No, let him think that. You're not helping when you're on the NBA Twitter saying Buddy Hield can't close out game. Oh, yeah.
He didn't dribble.
No, he
Can't hold
cannot.
on to the ball.
He makes bad choices at the end of games consistently. And then I don't know how many times during the Kings season where it was like, you can tell Luke Walton's like, all right, give it to Buddy. Let him shoot and see if we win the game. And he just never makes it. I just feel like he never made it.
He made that one tip in, though. That was cool.
He did make that tip in. That was fun. Then he ran off the court like they just won the finals. It's the closest thing that Kings fans had to a like final celebration we've ever seen.
Yeah.
It was like
Sign him up.
week 5.
Yeah, I definitely think you need to re-sign Holmes. I think him with Fox, I think that's a pretty good. It's good defensively.
I like Holmes a lot. I just think his length, when it was like throughout the season, there was a moment where I was just like, we weren't tall enough. We weren't getting the rebounds enough. We weren't like protecting the rim. And Holmes has got so much energy and he's a great center. But like when your tall guy 4 like Bagley is not getting in there and being aggressive for rebounds, then Holmes is not going to be effective because Holmes has to be the primary rebounder and doing everything. But Holmes is such a switchable center. He can guard multiple positions. He can play. He actually has a great offensive game, but I get a little worried when he's like the shortest center and we're losing the rebound game.
We don't get rebounds at the end of the game.
Yep, we do not.
He's definitely not strong enough. Like if you have not Okafor. What's that guy on?
Gobert, Embiid.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know why I thought Okafor. I love Okafor, but he's not going to be able to guard him in the post. He's not going to be able to box him out, type of thing, like you guys were saying. Any big center is going to dominate Holmes.
Exactly, and we could play small ball and potentially play against that. Like Holmes is kind of like what Batum has been on the Clippers in the last couple games. You know, like he's perfect fit for that. But during a regular season, and if you go up against these taller teams or the Lakers, you know, like that's the team that we're all going to have to think about as Kings fans to beat. Not James Wiseman. We're not worried about that. I just feel like we're going to need a little more length, you know? So that's why the guy who's probably going to go 2 overall, the center from USC, I thought he would be a good fit where we wouldn't have to sign Holmes. He's like a already NBA ready center. So Mobley. Exactly. I think he would be really good, but we're not getting that guy.
He was great in Jungle Book too.
He's definitely grown a lot. He's gotten a lot taller. That's for sure.
Mobley,
if anything.
Trae.
Oh.
There you go. Clear that up.
Was that lefty on Houston? That was Mobley, right?
It might actually be Katino Mobley's kid.
It's possible.
Oh, really?
Yeah, or related.
Nice. I like that.
But
don't aggregate that. I don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah, don't post that anyway.
Tyler Golding, the only person listening to the podcast.
Yeah. So I don't know. I get concerned when everyone's like, we need to go all in on Holmes because it just sounds like another contract that if it doesn't work out, we're kind of stuck in it again, you know?
I'm not saying go all in. I think you give him a team-friendly deal, and if someone else wants to match it or go above, you let them go. I don't think you're spending way out of the realm of possibilities to keep them.
If we get rid of Barnes, Buddy, and Bagley's contracts, then I could definitely see us justifying a contract like that. But if we're still in deep with all those guys, and then we're adding another one that I think literally we cannot sign him if we keep all the players we currently have. Something like that.
No,
the
we
cap
can't,
situation.
We can't sign Holmes unless we cut a contract.
Yep.
And it needs to be Buddy.
Yep. Needs to be Buddy for sure. But then also we're talking about how we need to go out and get at least some NBA ready talent right away. So that's their contract also has to be in there considered, So that's where it's like we got to shed Barnes and Buddy and Bagley.
Well, what's nice is you have Halliburton on a rookie contract still.
That'll be nice having that for a while for sure. So we've got a backcourt that's set. It's just now everything else. Great.
Basically.
We're almost there, guys. We're so close.
What do you think the best case scenario for the Kings? 8th seed next year?
100%.
I want to see the
Absolutely.
offseason before I make any decision. There's a lot of.
But you're saying gut wise. If you had to say right now, what would
if they ran this same team back next year, 11 seed?
Yeah, I think it might even get worse.
Yeah, they need to definitely improve.
There's no one.
There's too many good teams in the West.
Who's ahead of them that's
teams.
falling? Maybe the Spurs.
Yeah, especially if they don't bring back a lot of their players. Oh, that's the other one I want. I want DeMar DeRozan to be on the Kings.
The Warriors get Clay and 2 lottery picks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Timberwolves are going to have to get good eventually with all the talent. So you can't even
They're
might
all
get
healthy
good.
and they were pretty hot.
Yeah, there's people. There's even people below you, like you said, you could jump up. No one in the playoffs, I think, is falling down. Jazz are going to be good still,
unless Portland decides to blow it up or fall off completely. But I doubt it now. If they signed a head coach, they're still going to be in it. Nuggets going to be better. Lakers.
Well, don't you have to have a head coach?
Well, yeah, but they got the head coach that's like the one that Dame wanted.
Chauncey Billups.
Yeah, exactly.
Chauncey. I love Chauncey Billups.
Oh yeah, where's McCollum going to go? It's the other fun one.
Well, I don't know what they're going to do. They got to blow that team up, but they can't. They already went all in with
Robert Covington.
2 first-round picks.
That guy's
Yikes.
Trash. Yeah. I guess Simmons trade that everyone's talking about. If we're at that point.
Talk about the Simmons trade because the contracts line up.
Exactly. I think it's a trade that everyone's been talking about.
And I think it's the best trade for the Sixers that I've seen value-wise.
We hope. So Buddy, Bagley, number 9 pick overall for Simmons. Pretty much straight up. That's probably what the trade would be, but some people are trying to throw in Thibault, the other but that's not going to happen.
Contracts don't work and they would never do that.
Oh, really? Yeah. There's no way the Sixers would give up that. I think the Sixers would probably take Bagley, Buddy, and a 9 for Simmons. I think that seems about appropriate.
See,
we could snag their 26. That would be
that's
great.
going to happen. I don't think Embiid's 27. He's got bad knees. Your window is closing. I think you gotta keep Simmons, or you gotta find some other
bigger trade target,
some other star that's disgruntled somewhere. You Buddy Hield. You have Seth Curry. That's Buddy Hield, but better.
If you put
Buddy Hield's better than Seth Curry.
I don't know that that's true.
I think Buddy Hield's better than Seth Curry.
I think Seth Curry can at least read. I'm not sure that Buddy Hield can. A playbook.
He's got a little bit better basketball IQ,
which is what they need.
Well, they could have done it this year.
If you put Bagley and Buddy on that team though and subtract Simmons, are you better?
No.
The only argument is Bagley going to be great
though?
Does Bagley become an all-star the second he leaves Sacramento?
Well, it really doesn't
healthy.
Really happen.
I just feel like
so did you see? So I retweeted this list since 2014. The Kings have had one contract go to a 5th year of their first-round draft picks, and it was like 12 guys that didn't go through.
It's a sad list too.
And Robinson and Scalabrine and
Jimmer Fredette,
and
Harry Giles.
It's just Fox.
Who's the only one that went?
Fox.
Oh, not Jason Thompson. Is that too old?
Yeah, that's too old. That was pre-2014. Jason Thompson signed in like 1891.
Isn't he the highest? Isn't he the highest scoring king of all time?
He might be the all-time
or games
leading scorer.
Maybe not scoring, but games played, I believe.
It could be anything. You could tell me it's
all-time.
Any of the stats, and I would believe it. I was like, yeah, he was out there. He was doing stuff. I don't.
Ryder, you're gonna draft a guy from Ryder, Jason freaking Thompson.
Well, that's why Petrie's not the GM anymore.
Stone hands.
Either way, I think we're all excited as Kings fans, though, to see what's going to happen. Are Kings fans, right? Everyone's.
I'm just excited. I just am excited for fans to be back in 100% crowd in there. But the team that played well down the stretch, they just were too streaky. I think in the middle of the year they had that huge little lull. If you just cut that,
they had
in half,
2 9-game losing streaks.
Yeah, that's
You
what I
don't
mean.
make the playoffs in the West when
Pretty
you
bad.
do that.
Can't do it.
And
Even if you
I
win
kinda-
7 of 8 in between those 2 9-game win streaks twice.
They played really well against certain teams, though, and this is
They
where
beat the
I'm letting them
Nuggets.
back into my
They
life.
beat the Nuggets series. They
Remember the game where they almost
swept
beat the
them.
Bucks too? That one where just Drew Holiday had to like go off at the end for them to even have a chance, and the Kings were right in on that one. They're exciting to watch. They were fun to watch. I was very
when
invested.
they were all healthy and they all played together, which is asking a lot of the Kings. I know they looked decent. They could compete. They could make the playoffs.
One of those big losing streaks was when Halliburton was out too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
or
he
he
kinda
was on
fell off,
when
too.
he was on the minutes restriction.
Yeah, it's one of those things though you have to think about is like if you're an average team and you're missing one of your top guys, you are a below average team. It's not like
Yep.
you're a top dog, you're missing a guy, now you're an average team.
Yeah,
You have to be 100% healthy if you're a team on the fringe.
I have no stats to back this up, but don't you feel like Halliburton, when he at the beginning of the year was really killing it, and then when he came back from injury, he just never really found the same groove offensively, I think.
well, the problem is that they found out that if he starts, which is where he should be playing because he's better,
Mhm.
Buddy Hield's not good enough to run the second team.
And
None of them
so-
could play defense. You had Kyle Guy and Buddy Hield and just a train wreck of just people lost
Whiteside
on
in there.
defense.
Yeah.
Oh, Whiteside.
Metu was good though. I like Metu a lot.
I guess.
He was just a
Small,
breath of
big
fresh
guy.
I
air.
guess.
Small, big guy.
guy.
I like that.
That's what he is. Good energy, small, big guy. He's like John Brockman, except can jump.
I think that's just the energy made me excited about Metu, though. The fact that he can all of a sudden he was like shooting corner threes. And it's like, oh, are you better than Bagley? That was the question. I'm always like, is this guy better than Bagley?
I know Bagley looked really good when he was playing and he's healthy. I really hope they don't trade him because I think his
He's
value
just
is
as good
nothing.
as Trae Young.
But he didn't. He liked a tweet saying he should leave Sacramento. So
And he took
Kings
the
fandom
Kings
is
out of
done.
his bio on Twitter and
Yeah,
Instagram.
Papa Bagley, is about him leaving too.
I want to get Papa Bagley and Rashawn Holmes' mom, the doctor. I want those two to have a live tweet conversation or something. That's what I want to see.
Can we get LeVar Ball in the conversation too?
I don't know. He would just be like advertising his own stuff
And
the whole time.
Beyonce's dad.
Get Britney's
Britney Spears'
conservators.
dad.
Yeah,
now
you
we're
do
talking-
it.
Let's get topical.
Exactly. Let's hit it.
Can we get Joe Jackson in there too? Let's get Michael Jackson's dad in there. Let's get the collection of the worst dads and parents we can think of. Is Lindsay Lohan's dad doing anything?
I'm sure he'll show up. He's
Talk
got nothing
about
to
a
do.
parent trap. Oh.
Oh,
That's such a good film. Such a good film.
All right.
So
How
Yeah, the two-
underrated.
Lindsay Lohan and her sister did really well in that film.
did you guys see the U.S. basketball Olympic team roster? How is there no Kings on this team? How did Fox not get on there?
How did Fox not get on there? I would
They
love to
have
know more about
one-
the selection process.
They have Drew Holiday, and that's the only point guard ball handler that they have on the entire team.
Chris Paul.
If he's playing,
That's true.
I don't know if he's playing.
He
Well, they
said
sent-
he's going to play. He said
They
he's
sent
on the
Harden
roster.
home.
Harden. I thought Harden was on the roster too.
They
The
have
thing I
Jeremy
saw.
Grant and Kevin Love on this team, and they're not even going to play. They're just going to sit there on the
Harden
bench.
said he's backing out due to
Oh,
injury.
really? See, that's new.
Mhm.
New to me from when because the USA team put
he
out a
found
thing
out there's
that
no
said-
strip clubs in Tokyo, and he's like, "Nah, I'm out."
It's not strip clubs. It's something else, but he'll find something to do.
I just thought that was a perfect opportunity
so
for Fox to
I
get
think
in
Fox
there.
will come in then. If Chris Paul doesn't play, if Harden doesn't play, if all these ball handlers don't play, I think De'Aaron should be waiting for the call or asking. I don't know how it works though. Does he like put his name in the hat to be on the team? Is there somebody that's choosing this?
I think you gotta send in a tape.
tape of you
Like
like
a
one-
mixtape?
Yeah, it's like you want to get on Survivor or like the challenge or one of those. You got to just send in a
do you have
thing,
to
like, out of
talk
the
about
beach.
like your history with Olympic sports, maybe show some
Mhm.
footage of you swimming, just some running generally.
I think all the
Um,
NBA players get on a big Zoom call and they just do nose goes, and then whoever gets their finger on the nose first gets to go. I think that's how they pick the team.
You got to see your form on carrying the torch.
Yeah. Is it here? Is it here?
Yeah.
Got to get it right. Okay. You walking Tokyo. I'm interested. I think Fox could totally swing in there somehow because
They need to be
Booker
on
might
that
not
team.
play. CP3 might not play. Like all these players, if they go deep in the playoffs, they're probably not going to play.
It's super good for lots of these players until they start talking with the other players and then they want to leave and go play with them. But I think we could get some value out of Fox.
It would be so
Just
good
playing
for
with
him.
someone that's good. It helps them. The team's been a dumpster fire.
I feel like
since he's
Kevin
been here.
Durant's going to carry that team to a gold medal too. I
More
think
at-
he's
more
ready.
at practice than actually playing the games.
Yeah.
I think it's good for him. It's kind of like being on an all-star team.
You need to
Beat around
play
those
in
guys,
those
see how they
dream
work.
team closed gym practices where they're just like
Shooting the shit.
5-on-5 with a bunch of
KD's just blowing you up.
Yeah.
Like it
Exactly.
was in The Last Dance. We heard about the dream team though, the kind of practice that were happening. That'd be so awesome for Fox.
I just want to watch those.
I know. I'd pay money to watch that. As long as it was mic'd
Zach
up.
would love
and
to
they
be a
didn't know
horse
they were
fly
mic'd
on
up.
that wall.
Can it be a normal sized fly? I gotta be a fat fly too. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, Trey.
They
Who's
have
the best?
bears.
Who's the best player in the NBA?
The best player in the NBA. That's a tough one. I would say KD.
Feels
just
like
think
it.
he's-
It's hard to disagree with that right now after the performance he put up.
You can't guard him.
Yeah.
He's got
He's
too
what,
many moves.
6'10", 6'11", who could just shoot the lights out. You can't guard him in the post.
His defense, he also turned that on completely. Like he is ridiculous. He can protect the rim. He can play on guards. He can jump out to cover wings.
I think it's KD. I don't think it's been LeBron for like 3 or 4 years.
He keeps saying it is though, and that's why we think it is. We're like, well, I guess it's LeBron. I don't really have anybody else.
Until
Yeah, I
you
don't
like
think it's- I don't
independently
think
look at
it's
the years, like,
Giannis.
no, that one was Steph. No, that one was probably Giannis.
I think you're slowly starting to see Devin Booker get into that conversation.
Burker?
I know he's not
Devin Booker,
Brooker.
dude.
Is he related to? Is it Brooker? Booker.
Brocker.
Brockman.
Booker.
Devin Brockman. That's what it is.
He's
I like
just
that.
he
That
just
guy's
it's a
energetic.
Devin babbling Brooker. That's what I call him.
Devin babbling Booker. There we go. You found it.
I
that,
just
Devin
hope
Booker.
it's not Luca at some point. I'm over
I don't know
Luca.
if Luca is. Luca's such
I
a
think
weird.
Vlade
player to
was
me.
right about Luca and his family and his bad attitude, but I think he like
He picked the wrong guy though.
he like super underestimated how good he was at basketball though.
And how terrible.
I
that
think
would
in a
look for
heartbeat
us.
we would embrace him and ignore all of his faults.
Oh, absolutely. You know,
I'd
but
boo him.
No, you wouldn't.
I'd boo everybody.
You do boo everyone. That's true.
would we also have the same amount of head coaches though, even if we had Luca?
Yes, absolutely.
It would have been a cycle, all that, but we would have made the playoffs.
Rick Carlisle wanted to leave to not coach him.
Yeah, is he a big asshole? Is
I
that-
think so.
Is that the new narrative? Because that's kind of fun, you know. I like
His
that.
his teammates don't even seem like they want to play with him.
Would you want to play with Luca? It's like playing with LeBron, where you just like, all right, Chris
Does the-
Bosh, go stand in the corner, even though I know you're really good at basketball and you add a whole lot to the team. Just stand in the corner, and
Get out of
then
my way.
if I can't drive, I'll just throw it to you at the last second. Then I'll blame you if you can't make a fade away from the
How
corner.
I haven't heard him interviewed. How good
Sounds
is
about
his
right.
English? Maybe
not
it's just
terrible. I
maybe it's
his
like a
English isn't
language
terrible.
issue.
That's what it's the language barrier. That's why his teammates hate him.
Yeah,
No, I
he's
think
not
that-
trying to be a jerk, but he only knows certain words.
Oh, I didn't know bitch was that word. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, is bad
I'm
at
not sure
basketball
that
the same
accent
word?
was,
I'm
but I liked
sorry.
it.
What is that accent?
Oh, I
Why
don't
does
know.
he sound so?
It's probably
Why
not very
does he sound
PC,
so
so I'm going to stop
fat?
it pretty quick here.
You can't stop now.
Oh, no.
How do I talk normal?
I lost it. And we're back.
What else we got?
I think that's all we got on NBA. That was a
Exciting.
good NBA talk.
It's fun, though, right now. It's a great time to watch
This
basketball.
is my favorite time of the year. We get the finals, and I just can't wait for this offseason. That's all we look forward to as Kings fans.
That's our Super Bowl.
What are
Not
they gonna
playing.
do?
That's
Yeah.
our finals. Are we
You
gonna
want
blow
to
it or
jump real
not?
quick into baseball before we get going, since we tee off at 6:04 in the morning?
Yeah, we should
Yeah,
probably
it's
do
10.
that.
Yep.
We
Uh,
promised Tom a quick one, and then we started an hour late.
Oh, that's
and,
exciting.
We
Yeah.
talked about basketball for an hour, so
It's already been an hour. I'm impressed.
win.
There we go. Before I go into any of my stuff that I'm going to say to Zach about baseball.
I feel like you have notes everywhere
Oh, that was just about the Clippers
in your
game.
brain.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. Well, we're going to get to what our hats say, but I feel like you two still need to discuss what happened tonight.
So we have an energy drink pack going right now.
on the
Cubs,
series.
Dodgers. Are the Cubs the best in the Central right now?
They
Is
lost
it going back and
tonight.
forth?
I think, yeah, they were
Oh.
close. It was like a 1-game difference between us and the Brewers.
So they're playing well.
When the season started, I thought if the Cubs were 500, I'd be happy. So where they're at right now, I'm very happy. Starting pitching hasn't been very good. Bullpen's been lights out, bad hitting. So I'm about where I think we should be. I think the Dodgers are trending up. I think the Giants are playing above their head.
All right.
They are.
What's the best record in the league mean to you, Cubs fan?
I'm just letting you know.
I think
they're playing above their head. Let's just see where the season ends. Okay?
You guys are plus 23, and the
Whoa.
Giants are plus 103. What's that math? Zach, you're a math guy. Go ahead.
Hasn't it been like at least? I mean, our teams.
How many
both
times
won
have you played the
Series.
Diamondbacks this year? Like 48?
All right, we got them all out of the way. Okay, you guys will get your turn. You get your turn.
I think
all
of
of July.
Of
just
us,
look at the schedule.
Yeah.
It's like Diamondbacks, Marlins, Rockies. Like, oh yeah.
Basically, the Giants schedule from the month before. Yeah.
I think
Pretty
of
excited.
the three of us, though, your team's won the World Series the longest ago.
Yeah,
That's actually true. Oh, it's embarrassing for me. There it is. Well, let's see here. Asterisk World Series. You blew up your team and haven't even smelled the playoffs since.
We've been in the playoffs almost every year. Yeah, we just lose
How's that
in the first
gone?
round.
Oh, okay.
Great.
So the
That sounds
Astros
like the
World
Giants.
Series was you're giving us the Astros one
Exactly. You guys can take that one.
and the Red Sox one.
I'm taking away last year,
We
but I'm
got
going to give you
cheated out
that
of
one.
2 of them. We should have 3.
Well, Giants have 3 in the last
But we
decade.
shouldn't have had the one last year. That was kind of weird.
And that actually,
That was a funky one.
2010 is not in the last decade, so that's 11
That's
years.
true. I
You
guess
can't
I
say
have to
that
move
anymore.
on.
Slowly start fading away.
It's gonna be like, oh, it's
Before
been
you
50
know it,
years.
it's 1988.
My t-shirts are already worn out, believe me. They're already my
They're
2010 one's got holes in it,
They're 2 sizes too small too.
I actually recently, well, that's true. I realized I had about 15 different Giants t-shirts that are just Giants logo with a team, like a player behind me. And I'm like, I don't wear these anymore. So I boxed them up. I'm not getting rid of them. I'm boxing them up, because then they'll stay good. Because that's something you want to have later down the line. Even though I don't.
Yeah, when you're like 80, you can fit them.
I had a
No, and
whole
I give them
bunch
to
of
my
those.
kids, Troy. Come on.
Those shirts were the kiss of death for me. I had my Milton Bradley and my Matt Kemp and my Nomar Garcia Parra, and
Manny Ramirez.
Rock them every day.
every time I'd get one before the end of the season, their career would just be over.
It's a kiss of death.
It's the kiss of death. That's why I don't buy jerseys for any active players, because I don't want to ruin their life.
Well, and now you're
Not worth
older
it.
than them, so it's kind of awkward.
It's true.
Well, I've got a Buddy Hield jersey and a Zach Ertz jersey.
Okay, that's
so those
fair.
two
That's-
are right on the edge. Literally, in the next 2 months, both my jerseys for those 2 teams
aren't gonna
could-
fit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. good one. You got me there. Yeah, we'll see. We're not even going to get into football, but yeah, the Giants are playing great.
Let's talk about the NL West. How crazy is that the 3 best teams in the NL are all in the same division?
That's wild.
2 of
That's
them
gonna
are
be
the
such
wild
a.
card.
That's gonna be such a fun race.
It's
Gonna come
heat up
down to the wire
continually.
for sure.
I don't think the Padres are as good as everyone thinks. They lose to a lot of bad teams. I think they're getting boat raced by the Diamondbacks tonight,
Love it. I'm here for
or it
it.
might have been
It's
the other way
exciting.
around.
Did you see the video of the San Diego, the Padres fan flipping off the Dodgers fan?
I didn't. Oh, I think I did see
Oh,
that.
it's so funny. It's like Padres fan, high fives a Padres fan, high fives a Padres fan, and just flips the biggest bird ever to the
Yeah,
Dodgers.
the guy's
fan.
like 2 or 3 rows ahead of him, and he
he
just
just finds him in the
just
crowd.
right in his face. I'm sure the Dodger fan was talking crap the whole time.
Oh yeah, it was
That's
it
what
felt
Dodger fans
so
do.
good. Yeah, that's what the Padres fans finally have this now. So good for them that they've got a respectable team.
Well, the Padres is like a giant Ponzi scheme. They can't afford to pay these players, so they either need to win the World Series or they're going to have to.
They're going to
get
go
rid of
under.
all these guys
Yeah,
to the
they're
trade
going
deadline.
bankrupt. Exactly.
Well, it's kind of like the Kings when they were good with. It's not a rivalry with the Lakers anymore, but when we're both good, it's a rivalry. It's kind of like who cares? It used to be who cares about the Padres? They're terrible.
Now I can. It's like Dodgers and Giants fans can be like elitist. We can be up here like Padres fans. Got new jerseys. Who cares? We'll see. It'll all matter at the end of the year. So that's when we'll see if all
It's
this.
nice to
is-
have
I'm
people
excited.
competing with us for the division because we won it like 8 years in a row. So
All right.
The Giants don't need
Please
to win
keep
the
it
division,
interesting.
though. They'll win the World Series.
Yeah, we just need a wild card.
No, they just have to change the playoff rules so you guys can sneak in.
Hell yeah. And then get a, Brandon Crawford grand slam, It's always a good way to get into the playoffs.
You got to get one or two guys on steroids, just good enough to get you guys in the playoffs. Then
Okay, we didn't win with the guys
Then we
on
just
steroids.
forget that they were on the team beforehand.
We just move right on to the next group, you know? Well, what's the deal? Doesn't everyone say that there's obviously all the sign stealing and stuff, but there's a lot of rumors that the Dodgers were involved in some shenanigans over the last couple of years.
Yeah, they were getting shenanigans. That's what happened.
They're getting shenanigans.
Yeah.
But there was
they're
some potential
definitely
shenanigans.
in on spin rate.
Oh, yeah. How's your big contract to Bauer looking these days?
I don't like Trevor Bauer.
Kinda
I'm out.
fine.
I'm out on
Why
it.
are you out on him? I know he's having a rough month.
I think.
but
Well, I know it
he's fallen off a little bit. I don't really get why, but
because he's a Dodger free agent. That's what we do. We sign him to a contract, and then they do nothing, and then we pay them for the next 10 years. Like Darren Dreiford, we paid $10 million a year, and you've never heard of him.
I thought it was more about the fact that Bauer didn't use any sticky substance, and then he started using it, and then he won a Cy Young. Then he got a big contract, and now he's not using
He was
it again.
good.
and
He was
went
good with
back.
the Indians too, though.
He was good, but he wasn't Cy Young good. He literally basically made it
It
clear
was
he
a
was
small,
going to start
it's a
doing
small sample size again, though. Like we talked about, if you put that over 162 games, he might not have been Cy Young. Anyone could be good for 2.5 months. Look at the Dodgers.
it. All right, I'm on board with that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, that's how long the playoffs was. They won four playoff series, most in the history of the MLB.
It's exciting.
That was
Most
longer than
their
the
LVB
season.
too.
It's
I know.
something though. We all liked watching baseball, so
Yeah, we
that's
do.
where we
We
as
love
much
talking
as-
crap about our teams.
That's true.
I'm way more in it, and I'm not in on baseball yet. I'm just sucked
Wait
in
for
on this
basketball to be over.
basketball. As soon as it's over, I'm full steam ahead on baseball
Until football starts.
until football starts, and then I'll pretend to care about baseball
Until
until the playoffs start.
Exactly. Then
Then
you'll be
I'm
actually
all in on the
again.
playoffs again.
Mm-hmm. It's just a cycle, okay? We got to respect the cycle. Right now, it's basketball. Yeah, baseball is really fun. Oh, maybe we should go to a game. Throw that
That
out
would
there.
be fun.
Can we get some sort of side bet going on the Dodgers Giants?
There's many games coming up.
No, I want who goes further in the playoffs bet,
Giants,
Division.
Dodgers. Who
Give me a
wins the
or who
Division
wins the
bet.
division.
Okay.
That works too.
What's the bet going to be? What do we have to
It
do?
doesn't have to remember. Doesn't matter what it is.
We can do it off
I
base.
bet the Giants
gotta
will
get jamming.
win the NL West.
Okay. You what?
I bet the Giants will win the NL West.
I bet the Dodgers will win. the
Troy
NL
bets the Cubs will win the NL West because that's Troy's thing.
Absolutely.
The
Why
whole not
wouldn't they?
reading thing, you know.
Directions are hard.
Somewhere there. It's somewhere.
All right, should we wrap up so we can play golf at 6
Let's
o'clock
do
in the
it.
morning?
Let's do
All
it.
right.
Thank you guys for having me. I super
Tom,
appreciate
thanks
it.
for coming on the show
Of course.
again.
It was fun.
Check us
You're
out.
great as
social
always.
media at
Yep.
Spivey Special.
You now at this point, if
Everywhere.
you don't follow both the A Gap and the Spivey Special at the same time, you're doing everyone a disservice. So why don't you just
You
do
really-
both? You can
you're
mute
just really
us after you
rude.
add us. That's fine, but just follow
Just
us
put it-
initially.
Just put on our YouTube page and just put it on mute. Run those hours up for us.
If you haven't
Subscribe.
if you haven't watched it yet, I kicked a 45-yard field goal, and you should probably watch it on YouTube. It's pretty awesome.
That
It
was
was-
the
it was
fourth
impressive.
kick, though. Wasn't that the bonus
I
kick?
still the
Yeah.
bonus kick was from 45. I still made it.
That is.
Yeah,
I didn't think you had it in you. So
No, me either. All right, gentlemen.
it's been a pleasure.
All right,
It's been amazing. Tom, thanks for joining us.
Of course.
Zach, you're fat.
Troy and Tom, you're both fat. Later.